Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Marketing and Mindset with your host, Matt Miller. Today, we're going to be going over the 7 steps to achieve meaningful success. So what is meaningful success? Let's start off by talking about what it's not. So what meaningful success is not is when you have the opportunity to climb very high and get to the very top, and only to realize that it's not the direction that you wanted to go. So what meaningful success is climbing however high you want to climb, but in the direction that you want to climb. So it's having clarity, and it's also being aligned with who you want to become. So there's 7 steps to achieve meaningful success. And the first one is having a growth mindset. The second one is having clarity. The third step is having a plan. The fourth step is having alignment, and then discipline, and then optimization, and then perseverance. So there's 7 steps, and it all starts with the growth mindset. And a lot of times when we graduate school, we probably don't really pick up many books and listen to many podcasts. One thing that we should get in a habit of is becoming a lifelong learner, becoming a student first and a student always. And if we have that mindset, we'll continue to grow. In addition to that, being able to research. Whenever we come up with a topic or a word that we don't understand, writing it down, then coming back to it, and then researching what it actually means. And then also, we have to be able to seek out mentors. And I recommend that you start off with a lot of mentors, explore a bunch of different areas and a bunch of different topics. And then once you understand what you're most passionate about and what interests you the most, then you really want to narrow the scope to only maybe 1 or 2 mentors. Because if you're following too many, you can get distracted. But that's the first step, is having that growth mindset. And then once you have that growth mindset, the number 2 thing in the steps to achieve meaningful success is to have clarity. It's clarity on exactly who you want to become and where you want to go. And a couple things that we can do in order to achieve clarity is practice personal development. And personal development can be reading, it can be writing, it can be journaling, it could be reflecting and just thinking of the past and then thinking of the present and then the future, and understanding what we've done to get where we're at, and then also thinking what we need to do to get where we want to go. And it helps us gain clarity. And if we practice personal development, another thing that I've noticed to be true is the importance of having a morning routine. Instead of just getting up and going to work, instead maybe taking 20 minutes to exercise, maybe to stretch out, or to maybe to read a book for a couple pages, or do something that we're learning, maybe listening to a podcast. The morning is the one time throughout the whole day that you're able to control. Then after that, everything else becomes reactive. So you really want to own your morning. And then another step to clarity is not only do we want to learn as much as possible, but we have to be willing to unlearn certain things from the past that no longer resonate with us. And those are the first 2 steps, the growth mindset and then the clarity. Then once we have that clarity on where we want to go, the third step is developing a plan. And developing a plan is a very strategic approach, and a lot of it is the brainstorming that comes up front. And part of that strategy is understanding exactly where we're at, and then exactly where we want to go, and then finding that gap, understanding why we want to go from point A to point B, and using that as motivation, and then understanding the how. So what are the actual actions that we have to take in order to get from plan A to plan B? In addition to that, it's always important to have that long-term vision and being able to visualize who we want to become. And then the 4th step is alignment. What are the routines? What are the rituals? What are the habits that we have to adopt that align with who we want to become? And then every day practicing intention and being specific to make sure that we're aligned on a daily basis. And then after that alignment, we have to show discipline. And that's step number 5. And there's 3 things that I like to think about when I think of discipline. Number 1 is overcoming distraction. Really understanding what pulls us away from those given tasks, what makes us reactive, and try to combat that so that we can stay disciplined and focus on what needs to get done. In addition to that, we can prioritize our schedule. Something I do at the beginning of every week is I write down the critical few things that I need to accomplish every day, Monday through Sunday, and I do that at Sunday night to make sure that I'm holding myself accountable to the things that I need to get done. And then also the importance of consistency. We have to be consistent and we have to work towards our goals each and every day. And then the sixth thing is optimization. So how can we raise the necessity, make it urgent, make it something that needs to get done? And then in addition to that, practicing high performance. And a lot of times high performers have the mindset that it's something that needs to get done and there's less time that they'll be willing to wait before they start taking action. And then the last thing in order to be optimized is to understand productivity. What are the things that are going to make us most efficient? Is there things throughout our day that we can delegate, automate, create systems to make things more efficient, but really understanding how we can be productive? And then number 7, is there stuff that is always going to go wrong and we need to practice perseverance. And 3 things that we can do is we can stay focused on the mission and always keep that top of our mind. Number 2 is practice motivation, understanding what gets you more energy. Is it music? Is it listening to a podcast? And then incorporating that into our daily routines. And then lastly, practicing resilience. As I mentioned, things will go wrong. We just have to control the controllables and everything else will take care of itself. And those are the 7 steps to achieve meaningful success. And I know I threw a lot out there, but in summary, number 1 is having a growth mindset. That's first and foremost. Then it's getting clear, which is clarity, which is number 2. And then coming up with a plan, then being aligned with that plan. And then once we have the plan and we have that alignment, it's all about discipline, optimization, and then perseverance. Those 7 things: growth mindset, clarity, plan, alignment, discipline, optimization, perseverance. And if we can practice those 7 things, we're going to be more likely to achieve a goal and have meaningful success to us. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back with another episode shortly.